Mathematics paper 3, calculators here. Answer all questions. You must show all your working. Calculators may be used for this paper. Total mark for this paper is 80. Make A the subject of the formula. P is equal to 3A minus 9. We're going to use inverse operations. So the inverse of addition is subtraction. Inverse of subtraction is addition. Inverse of multiplication is divide. So we want to make A the subject. We want to get A to be on its own. So we need to remove the 9. The inverse operation for minus 9 is plus 9. So it's P plus 9. 3A means 3 times A. So the inverse would be divide by 3. So it's P plus A, P plus 9 divided by 3. So it has to be all of P plus 9 divided by 3. That's how you do that. Question number 2. Rob has been asked to divide 120 in the ratio 3:5. Here is his working. 20 divided by 3 is 40. 120 divided by 5 is 24. Rob's working is not correct. Describe what Rob has done wrong. So 3 plus 5 is equals to 8. So Rob should have divided by 8. Because 3.5 is 8. 120 divided by 8 is 15. And then 15 times 3, 45. 15 times 5, 75. So he should have divided by 8. Or you can say he should have added 3 and 5. These are different reasons you could give, and all of them would give you the 1 mark. 200 students chose one language to study. Each student chose one language from French or Spanish or German. Of the 200 students, 90 are boys and the rest of the students are girls. 70 chose Spanish. 60 of the 104 students who chose French are boys. 18 girls chose German. Work out how many boys chose Spanish. So it's good to do this type of questions using a table. So we want to find the total for German. We want to find the girls choosing French. So we draw a table. So on the table, we will have girls, boys, and total. And we'll have French, Spanish, German, and total. So French, Spanish, German, and then the total. And then boys and girls and the total. So we put in some of the numbers. 18 girls chose German. So 18 will go in there for girls and choosing German. So 18 girls choose German. And then 60 of the 104 students who chose French are boys. So 60 would come here and there'll be boys, 60, and they chose French. 70 chose Spanish. 70 will come under Spanish for the total. And then 90 are boys and the rest of the students are girls. Total for boys is 90. You go under total for boys is 90. And then the rest are girls. So to find the total for German, so 200, because we got 200 in total. 200 minus 104, which is 104 there, minus 70 will give us that 26. Boys choosing Spanish, and then you can do that 90 minus 60 plus 26 minus 18. 104 minus 60, it gives you 44. So you can complete the table. For question number 4, we're going to use this formula. The formula for the volume of a cylinder is the area of the base times the height. The base is a circle, and the area of the base is pi radius squared times the height. So question 4. Karina has 4 tanks on her tractor. Each tank is a cylinder with a diameter of 80 centimeters and a height of 160 centimeters. The 4 tanks are to be filled completely with a mixture of fertilizer and water. The fertilizer has to be mixed with water in the ratio 1:100 by volume. Karina has 32 liters of fertilizer. 1 liter is equal to 1,000 centimeters cube. Has Karina enough fertilizer for the 4 tanks? You must show how you get your answer. We have 4 tanks. We find the volume of 1 tank using that formula. Pi times the radius will be 40, because half of 80 is 40 squared, times 160. That gives us the volume for 1 tank. After that, we find the volume for 4 tanks. So we multiply by 4, and that gives us the volume for 4 tanks. We find the volume of fertilizer needed for 1 tank. So the volume of the tank divided by 101. So it would be 7962.8. And then 4 tanks, we multiply by 4. It will be that 31851. And we know 1 liter is 1,000 centimeters cube. So we divide by 1,000 to change it to 31.8514 liters. So if we compare now, it says 32 liters is bigger than 31.85. So the answer is yes. For the next question, we're going to use scale factor. To find scale factor, we can use the larger length, that's 15, divided by the smaller length, say 10. Or we can use the smaller length, say 10, divided by the larger length, 15. So the scale factor, you can get 10 over 15. So we're going to use this idea on the next question. So for this question 5, triangle ABC and triangle DEF are similar. Work out the length of EF. So what we want to do, we're going to use the length EF and the corresponding side BC. So BC is 4. EF is what we're looking for. So we can say the long side divided by the short side, it would be equals to the 20 divided by the 5, the corresponding sides. So it will be 20 divided by 5, which is 4, and 4 times 4 will give us the answer. So you would get EF is equals to 4 times 20 over 5, which gives you 16. Work out the length of AB. So we want to find AB, the one in blue. So it's AB. So we have 22, the long side, divided by the corresponding side AB would be equals to 20, the long side, divided by the short side, which is 5. Cross multiply. 22 times 5 is equals to AB times 20. After that, you divide by 20, it gives you 5.5. And for cross multiplication, this is the formula that I've used. A times D becomes linear is equals to B times C. So it changes the fractions to this linear form, and you can easily solve it. Question number 6. One weekend, the Keddy family is going to do a sports quiz and a music quiz. The probability that the family will win the sports quiz is 0.3. The probability that the family will win the music quiz is 0.35. Complete the probability tree diagram. The probability tree diagram will add up to 1 when you add the branches. So 0.3 plus a number will give you 1. So 1 minus 0.3 it gives you 0.7. That's how we got 0.7 there. 0.35 will add up with 0.65 to give 1. So 1 minus 0.35 gives you the 0.65. And the same for the other branch. But B, work out the probability that the KD family will win both sports quiz and the music quiz. So you want to win the first time and win the second time. Win the first time is 0.3. Win the second time is 0.35. You multiply them, it gives you 0.105. Question number 7. Change 8,000 centimeters cube to meters cube. So we'll use this conversion unit to convert from centimeters cube to meters cube. We divide by this number here, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You divide by 1 million, and that gives you 0.008. So to change from centimeters cube to meters cube, you divide by 1 million, and you get 0.008. So this would help you to understand the conversion. 1 centimeter cube, I've put it at the bottom there. One side is 1 centimeters, the other side 1 centimeter, the height 1 centimeter. So the volume is the length times the width times the height. So 1 times 1 times 1, that gives us 1 centimeters cube. But now in a meters cube, 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So that means 100 centimeters times 100 centimeters times 100 centimeters, which will be 100 times 100 times 100. There's 6 zeros, so 1 million centimeters cube. So that means 1 meter cube is 1 million centimeters cube. That's why if you want to change from centimeters cube to meters cube, you will divide by 1 million. And in this case, it shows here you go through something called decimeters cube. They don't use that in your exams a lot. But 1 centimeters cube is 1 milliliters. It's something you will see often in your exams. Question number 7B. Change a speed of 180 kilometers per hour to meters per second. It's kilometers over hours. To change kilometers to meters, you times 1,000. And to change hours, to change kilometers to meters, you times 1,000. So it becomes times 1,000 meters. To change the hours to seconds, you times 3,600. That comes from 60 times 60. 6 times 6 is 36, and then you add the 2 zeros. So that means to change 180 kilometers, you will multiply by 1,000 and you divide by 3,600. These 3 zeros, these two zeros will cancel with 2 zeros, and 1,800 divided by 36, you get 50. So your answer will be 50 meters per second. Question number 8. There are 30 women and 20 men at the gym. The mean height of all 50 people is 167.6 centimeters. The mean height of the 20 men is 182 centimeters. Work out the mean height of the 30 women. So the mean height of all, you get 167 is equal to the total divided by 50. 50 comes from 167.5 divided by, so 167.6 is equal to the total divided by 50. 50 times 167.6 gives you 8,380. The mean height of men is 182. So 182 is equal to the total for men divided by 20. So 20 times 182, it gives you 3,640. So the number of women would be the total minus the total number of men. So you subtract those two numbers and you get 4,740. And there are 30 women. So 4,740 divided by 30, it gives you 158 for the women. Question number 9, write 6.75 times 10 to the minus 4 as an ordinary number. So you would count, you write 6.75 and you go backwards 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a 0 under the arches. It gives you 0.000675. So you write 6.75 and you go back 1, 2, 3, 4. And you put 0, 1, 2, 3 zeros. So that's how you get that. Work out that expression, give your answer in standard form. The calculator will do it for you. And you can go into the format in your calculator and get it to put it in scientific notation, and it will change it to that standard form for you. So in your calculator, you would do the numerator first, 2.56 times 10 to the 6 times 4.12 times 10 to the minus 3. That will give you 10547.2. And then you would use that answer. You would divide by 1.6 times 10 to the minus 2. That gives you 65.92. And then you would use Shift, Menu for setup, and go to the format. You will change the thing so that it will give you the answer to, you go to scientific, so that it gives you in standard form. 6.592 times 10 to the power 1. So that should be a 1 there, not 5. This is just information for you to understand the difference between ordinary number and standard form. Standard form have a decimal point after the first number. After the first number, you have the decimal point. This could be 0.0. And then it has a power there. And you can get your calculator to change it for you. Put it in scientific. You can go back and forth using the calculator, or you can do it without calculator. Question number 10. Peter has to subtract x squared minus 2x minus 4 from x squared plus 3x plus 5. Here is his working. Explain what is wrong with Peter's working. I've done it on the right-hand side. When you remove this bracket, imagine there's a 1 there. It's minus x squared. The minus and the minus would make a plus. This minus and this minus would make a plus. So it will become plus 2x, not minus 2x. And this minus and this minus will make a plus, so it will be plus 4, not minus 4. And then the x squared would cancel out. X squared minus x squared is 0. 3x plus 2x is 5x, and 5 plus 4 is 9. So he should have plus 2x and plus 4. But what did he have? Minus 2x and minus 4. That was a mistake. On the second line, line 1, line 2, line 3. The mistake was on the second line. So that's what you write. This is also correct, also correct, also correct. Question number 11. X and Y are integers such that 3 is less than X is less than 8. 4 is less than Y less than 10. X plus Y equals to 14. Find all the possible values of X. So between 3 and 8, you have 4, 5, 6, 7. Between 4 and 10, you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the possible values are 5, 6, and 7. You got 5 there, 5 there, 6 there, 6 there, 7 there, 7 there. Question number 12. Martin used his calculator to work out the value of a number. He wrote down the first 2 digits of the answer on his calculator. He wrote 1.2. Complete the error interval for P. You start with 1.2, and you can go up to 1.2999, carry on 999 recurring. So you can say 1.3, or you can say 1.299999 recurring. Question number 13. Chen has the information about the time that it took an operator at the call center to answer each of 90 calls. Between 0 and 10 seconds, 4. Between 0 and 20, 25. 0 and 30, 70. 0 and 40, 88. Chen draws this cumulative frequency graph for the information in the table. Cumulative frequency on the y-axis and the x-axis is not labeled. There is no label for the x-axis. Write down 2 different things that are wrong with this graph. The label on the horizontal axis is missing, which should be the time. It should be the time in seconds, which is missing. Time in seconds. The graph has not been plotted at the top end of the class intervals. It has been plotted at the midpoints. So we should have 10, 4. It should be 10 and 4. 20 and 25. 20 and 25. Should be plotted at the top end. 70 and 30. But they've plotted it somewhere else. So the graph has not been plotted at the top, the upper class boundaries. They have used the midpoints. 5 instead of 10. They use 5. They use 10 instead of 20. Question number 14. Simplify fully. 3x to the 5, y to the 6, all to the power 4. So that means we'll have 3 to the power 4, x to the 5 to the power 4, y to the 6 to the power 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 6 times 4 is 24. 3 to the power 4 is 81. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 81. Part B, expand and simplify. So we do the first 2. X plus 2, x minus 3. When you expand that, x times x, x squared. X times minus 3, minus 3x. 2 times x, 2x. 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. And we do 2x minus 3x is minus x. Now we multiply x squared minus x minus 6 times x plus 4. So we start x squared times x gives you x cubed. X squared times 4 gives you 4x squared. Minus x times x minus x squared. Minus x times plus 4 minus 4x. Minus 6 times minus x times x minus 6x. Minus 6 times 4 minus 24. Collect like terms. X cubed stays the same. We do 4x squared minus x squared is 3x squared. It's like 4 minus 1x squared, 3x squared. And minus 4 minus 6 is minus 10x. Question 15. A pet shop has 7 guppy fish, 13 tetra fish, and 5 angel fish. David is going to choose one of the following combinations of fish: a guppy fish and an angel fish. So a guppy fish and an angel fish. So 7 times 5, it gives you 35. A tetra fish and an angel fish. Tetra fish is 13, angel fish is 5. 13 times 5 is 65. A guppy fish, a tetra fish, and an angel fish. So a guppy fish is 7, tetra fish is 13, angel fish is 5. Multiply all of them, you get 455. Show that there are 555 different ways for David to choose his fish. So you add them up. The total would be 555. We will need this information for the next question. A cyclic quadrilateral has all its vertices on the circumference of a circle. That's the circle, and that's a vertex there, a vertex there, a vertex there, a vertex there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These two opposite angles, A plus C, is 180. And B plus D is 180. So question 16, ABDE is a cyclic quadrilateral. ABC and EDC are straight lines. Angle DBC is 60. Given that angle EAB is to the size of angle BCD is 2:1, work out the size of angle BCD. You must show all your working. So angle BCD is this angle there that we're going to look for, and we call it X. Now, first thing we do is we have ABD is equals to 120 and AED is equals to 60. If you look at that straight line, 120, you get it from 180 minus 60, it gives you 120. So that gives us that 120 there. So angle EAB plus angle BDE is 180. And EAB is to BCD is 2:1. So EAB is 2x and BCD is x. That's 2x and that's x. So x plus 60. So x plus 60 is equals to 180 minus 2x. So we solve that. Minus 2x comes to the left. Minus 2x plus x, it gives you 3x. Plus 60 goes to the right. 180 minus 60, it gives you 120. So 120 divided by 3 is 40. So the answer is 40. Number 17, there are 4 boxes on the shelf A, B, C, and D. The total weight of A and B is 3 times the total weight of C and D. The weight of A is 2/3 of the weight of B. The weight of C is 75% of the weight of D. Find the ratio of weight of A to weight of B to weight of C to weight of D. So we want to write a relationship between two weights. A plus B is to C plus D. The ratio is 3:1 because it says 3 times. And A is to B is 2:3. C is to D, 3:4. So A plus B is equals to 3 times C plus D. Since A is 2/3B and C is 3/4D, linking all the 4 weights, we'll get 42, 63, 15, and 20. So we replace A with 2/3B plus B is equals to 3, and we replace C with 3/4D plus D, because we know A is 2/3B and C is 3/4D. So the ratio A is to B is to C is to D. So it will be A is to 63 is to C is to 20. And from there now, C is to D is 3:4. And then we get A is to B and D will give us 42, 63, and 20. So that's all of question 17. Question number 8. Shape A is reflected in the line x equals to 2 to give shape B. And shape B is reflected in the line x equals to 6 to give shape C. Describe fully the single transformation that maps shape A onto shape C. You add in 2 plus 6 and it gives you 8. And Y is 0. So it's 8 to the right and no movement for Y. So it's called a translation. Question number 19. There are only blue counters, red counters, and green counters in the box. The probability that a counter taken at random from the box will be blue is 0.4. The ratio of the number of red counters to the number of green counters is 7:8. Samina takes a random counter from the box. She records its color and puts the counter back in the box. Samina does this a total of 50 times. Work out an estimate for the number of times she takes a green counter. So the probability of red or green is 1 minus 0.4 because we have 0.4 for the blue. So probability of red or green is the leftover, which is 0.6. So number of red or green counters is the 50 minus the 0.4 times 50, which gives us 30. So we now need to find the number of green counters. So the number of counters times 8/15. 7 plus 8, it gives you 15. And we want 8/15. So we get 1 minus 0.4 times 8/15 times 50, and that gives us 16. The diagram shows a triangle ADE. AE is equals to DE. AB is to BC is to CD is 1:2 is to 1. Prove that the triangle ACE is congruent to triangle DBE. So we want to prove that the yellow triangle is congruent to the pink triangle. So we can use SAS. This side is the same with that side. This side is the same with this other side. And this angle in between is the same with that angle in between. So one angle is the same and two sides are the same. So two sides and an angle included between the congruent. So angle EAC is equals to angle EDB. Base angles of an isosceles triangle are equal. So AB plus BC is the same as BC plus CD, using the ratio AC is equals to DB. And AE is equals to DE, which is given. AE is equals to DE. And that one is given in the question. So it's a side angle side. The equation of a curve is y equals to 4x squared minus 56x. The curve has one turning point. By completing the square, show that the coordinates of the turning point are 7 and minus 196. You must show all your working. We want to complete the square. We can first of all factorize 4 out of the bracket. So we're left with x squared minus 14, because 56 is 14 times 4. Now to complete the square, we find half of 14 is 7. Square it minus the 7 squared that's a 49, and then we add c. C is 0. So A is, in this case, A is 1, the number there. B is minus 14, and C is 0. And when you complete the square, you remove the bracket. 4 times that before will stay there, and then 4 times minus 49 gives you minus 196. When you plot the graph on a graphics calculator, the minimum point is given as x is 7 and y is minus 196. To confirm that it is correct, and it is, that's the graph there, 4x squared minus 56. Question number 22. Question number 22, we want to show that this expression can be changed to this form. And A and B are integers, which we need to work out their values, and we must show our working. So we need to add the 2 things on the left and then minus 3 after. So the lowest common multiple is that x minus 5. That x plus 5, and there's the 1 there, which we didn't write. So we do adding algebra. The x minus 5 would cross out with that, and you're left with x plus 5 and 2x plus 3. The x plus 5 will cancel with that, and you're left with x minus 4 and x minus 5. And we would be left here with x minus 5, x plus 5 times the 3. Now, the numerator, we need to expand it and simplify it. So expand this double bracket, x times 2x, x times 3, 5 times 2x, 5 times 3. And that gives us this expression. We do the same for the next pair, x times x, x times minus 5, 4 times x, 4 times that 5. We get this next expression. The last one, we do the same, x times 5, x times 5, 5 times x, 5 times 5. We get that expression. And then we start to simplify. 2x squared plus x squared minus 3x squared will be 0. 2 plus 1 is 3, minus 3 is 0. 13x minus 9x is 4x. 15 plus 20 plus 75 gives us 110. And when we expand the denominator there, you get x squared minus 25. You square that x and you minus 5 squared. So it's like x squared minus 5 squared. That's difference of 2 squared. So that means A is equals to 4, B is 110. So that's the complete answer for question 22. Question 23. The graph of y equals to f of x is shown on the grid below. Sketch on the grid above, sketch the graph of y equals to f of x plus 2. F of x plus 2, when we add 2, we move it 2 places to the left. And the way I remember that is people who live together don't get on. So when you add 2 to x, you move it 2 places to the left. Everything stays the same. So we'll take all of this black curve, move it 2 places to the left. So this peak here was 2. It will go 1, 2, here to minus 2. This one was 1. It goes 1, 2, comes to minus 1. This one here was 2. It goes 1, 2, comes to 0. And the curve will be the same curve. The shape stays the same. You've just shifted it 2 places to the left. 1, 2. On this grid, graph A has been reflected to give graph B. So graph A at the top reflected to give graph B at the bottom. The equation of graph A is y equals to g of x. Write down the equation of graph B. So whatever was positive at the top has come down to negative. It was positive, it's come down to negative. So if it was plus 3y, plus 3 there, it comes to minus 3. It was plus 2, it comes to minus 2. So you put a minus in front. So it's just minus g of x. We'll do it that way. So that's the complete answer for question 23. And don't forget, you can also write the coordinates for those points. Minus 3, 0 is this point there. Minus 1, 0 is that point there. 0, 0 is that point there. And minus 2, 2 is that point there. So you can mark the points before you draw the curve to make it easier. Question 24. C, D, E, and F is a quadrilateral. FE is equals to A, ED is equals to B, and CD equals to 2A. The point P is such that CEP is a straight line and CE is equals to EP. Use the vector method to prove that CF is parallel to DP. So CE, so from C to E, we can go C to D plus D to E. So CE is equals to 2A minus B. You go 2A minus B. And CE is equals to EP, and that is given. So that means CE is 2A minus B. CF is equals to CD plus DE plus EF. So 2A minus B minus A, and CF is A minus B. And DP is 2A minus 2B, which you factorize 2 bracket A minus B. and they are parallel. One is A minus B, one is 2 times A minus B. One is a multiple of the other one. So they are parallel. We will need this in the next question. Density is given by mass divided by volume. The way I remember it is don't move Vera. Mass is density times volume. The pyramid P is formed from two parts made of different materials. There's a top and there's a bottom. The top part of P has a mass of 92.8 grams and is made from a material with density. So we know the mass and we know the density. The bottom part of P has a mass of 972.8 grams and the average density of P is 4.7 grams per cubic centimeters. Calculate the volume of the top part of P as a percentage of the total volume of P. Give your answer correct to one decimal placed. So we want to find the volume of the top part. Volume is given by mass divided by density. The mass is 92.8 divided by the density 2.9 gives us 32. That's the volume of the top part. The total mass of P is 92.8 plus 972.8. So we have the total mass. The total volume of P is the total volume of P. And then what we want to do now is we have 32 divided by the total volume times 100. So the volume is given by the mass divided by the density. So the mass divided by the density, and that's the density there, it gives us that volume. And we want to express it. So we have 32 divided by, that's the 32 there, the volume of the top part, divided by the total volume, 226.7, times 100 to change it to percentage. That gives us 14.1%. For question 26, we need to know this formula about polygons. So the sum of the angles in the polygon is n minus 2 times 180. And the sum of the exterior angles is 360. One angle for a regular polygon is n minus 2 times 180 divided by n, the number of sides. And the exterior angle is 360 degrees divided by n, the number of sides. Interior angle plus exterior angle is 180. Interior, the angle inside, plus exterior, x, the angle outside, is 180. You need to know this to answer this question. This is a regular heptagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides. The area of the triangle ABG is 30 centimeters squared, the area of that yellow triangle. Calculate the length of GB. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. So this is how you go about doing it. Exterior angle is 360 degrees divided by n, the number of sides, which will give you 51.42. Or we can use interior angle is 900, n minus 2 times 180 divided by 7. We can use that way to do it. So to find the length of side by using the area, so we can use the sine rule there. And we have the area of a triangle. Half times AB times AG times sine GAB is equal to 30. So x times x is x squared times sine of 128. 128 is the angle there in that middle part. So we can solve this equation to get x to be 8.76. So the length of a side of the polygon is 8.76. And to find GB, we use the sine rule. 8.76 times sine 128.5 over sine 25.7. That gives you 15.8. And I've put there the formula for the sine rule to use.